Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome back yet again to Planet Coaster 2. I am just trying to contain water, and I've tried a bunch of different things. In fact, underground here, I built a new wall system. Let me see if I can just zip underground and show you. Let's go ahead and zip forward just a little bit here. So, instead of the nautical yellow curved bottom walls that I was struggling with, and I didn't like the color, what I did is I built a blue wall structure, just completely rectangle to go all the way around. There's still a chunk of the yellow left, but the blue structure goes all the way around the pond. And I sunk it. It's a very tall wall, and I sunk it into the ground. You can see there. And then I simply thought, okay, that's going to contain the water. And it flooded the park yet again. So now, just out of sheer frustration, I am creating a section that is completely separate. Okay, so this is basically a pit, and it should not flood. It's sealed around, so just so it doesn't seep over into the other areas. This should now. See, now I should see these. That's what I was hoping to find. It shows you basically the height, and you can choose how high you want the water to go. I was not able to do that with the wall system that I was doing, so that is exactly what should happen. And I think I've solved my issue. It's not exactly the look that I had hoped. Now I think I could probably push those. I mean, I had a nice sandy bottom and all that, so that definitely contains the water. And if I wanted to go higher, you just find the edge here and click. Now that's red, so it says no. There's blue. So if I wanted to bring the water all the way up, which I don't think I can, no. So that's as high as I can go in this pond, and definitely not as pretty looking. And they're, it's interesting though. And there's no railings. There's no safety railings. So this is not great. It's not really where I wanted to go. I don't know what this is for. It's not a walkway. Maybe I should have just left it sand. So I've spent hours on this, and I just don't know if that's really the look that I want. If this was Planet Zoo, I'd have some underwater viewing windows, and you could go downstairs and go look at the dolphins and turtles and all that cool stuff. Now, that would be sweet. I've always thought they should combine the games. There should be an animal element to this. And I always thought there should be a coaster element to Planet Zoo, just to add some pizzazz. So wouldn't that be cool if you could combine the parks? And maybe someday they'll do that. So at this point, I'd love your opinion on what you think this area should be. I have not had luck having it hold water, but I think I've solved that problem. I could probably pretty this up. I could probably paint the bottom sand, and I'm push those rock walls out and under, perhaps. Is it just worth the effort just to have water there? There needs to be a purpose for the. And by the way, it got destroyed in all my editing and working here. So did this section here. Just things get deleted by accident a lot. But there's got to be a purpose to this weird arch thing, and water makes the most sense. So I will continue to work on this. I just think if I can hide, so under terrain, if I can hide, now at this point it's probably push. Let's see if it'll even let me do it. Maybe not without the water. I've also was told that if I click on water and then right click, it goes away. I was not able to do that either with the water that I had. So my wall system was a failure, was a complete failure. Now, paint sampled. So if I click on sand and then here, No, paint, sand. I can turn the bottom back into sand again, and that's going to look a lot prettier. Plus, I'll smooth it out. So, will I keep working on this? Yes, of course I will, until I'm done. And then, guess what? Maybe I can open up my Planet Coaster Park. Oh my gosh, these poor people have been sitting on this bus for days, just waiting for the park to open. And guess what? There's nothing in the park. There's nothing there yet. So maybe soon. And here we have working water, finally. So the answer was not walls, which I thought was genius. The answer was just use the terrain tool and push down, create your own little deeper lake or pond. And then you can use the smooth tool to smooth the bottom. I used the paint tool to paint it sand, which gives it that nice kind of clean reflection look. I went back underneath the controls are terrible in this game. Pushed it back further under the road just a little bit. I could go further, but I wanted to have the illusion that it goes on forever. That maybe it's even a water ride. And then that idea just sparked something in my head. Like, why couldn't it be a water ride? Oh my gosh. So don't even go there yet. But wouldn't that be cool if this was part of a... Oh, no. That would be awesome. Really. So I think in the future, there might be a water ride that feeds down through underground and circles back. That's so cool. Okay. I'm on it. But in the meantime, we have water. So I literally had to go in the pond here, Q to go down. And if it just rotates for you, hit T, and that turns on or off different video options. If you have it off, Q is rotate. Q and E are rotate, like twist. But if you hit T, that will allow you to go Q down, E up. And look at that, splash. Love that. So I had to go down underneath and go up a little bit and seal, not all of it, but I had to make sure. Oh, come on now. I had to go wrong button. So left. There we go. So there's a little crack right there. But I just went around and sealed. By sealing, I mean I went to the terrain and I pulled or pushed until the ground was basically sealed, or it was high enough that the water level, what was happening was the water was pouring over the walls and then flooding my park. Now, can I go deeper than this? What you do is you hold your mouse, and if you get a blue line, you can go even deeper, but make sure it's not flooding. So it didn't. So that's as deep as I can go, and I think that looks really beautiful. I think just lots of clear water. Eventually, that'll be a water park ride where when people show up, people are floating through the entrance. That is awesome. That's an awesome idea. So I need to get working on the park. So that only took me, 3 days to create the illusion of a road coming in from a tunnel to a parking area to the entrance, and because there was nothing there, I dealt with that for many, many hours, a half a day, if not more, just to get water. And, now that I know how to do it, that would have been 30 minutes, not 4 hours, 5 hours. So maybe that'll save you some time if you're thinking about doing the same thing. Make your own custom water features don't use walls. I think it works. I read online people have done it before, but I tell you what, just make your own natural features like you're actually digging the ground out. That seems to work great. And then as we come through, I do need to add some power. So what I'll do next is I'm going to add the power that I need to run. Stop doing that. To run all these waterfalls and lights. So I'm going to set that up, and then on to the first whatever. And honestly, this is a big decision as well. Like when you enter the park, there should be restrooms and food. I mean, some people do want to use the bathroom, grab some food, and walk around. Like, And in this game, they've actually considered that. I read that online somewhere that some people want to eat right away. Other people want to go on rides and then eat. I mean, that's just like real life. And so you can't have your food all up front. You need to have like maybe 2 or 3, depending on the size of your park. You need to have food, water, and restrooms kind of available in several areas throughout the park. And so I'm so excited. Now, I don't know if I'll stick with this theme. I just think that's a grand opening. It doesn't mean I have to be mythical everywhere. I could have sections. I could have part of the park that is Wild West, part of the park that is futuristic, etc. So kind of like a Disneyland, which is kind of what I'm thinking, right? So so excited, to accomplish something in a game that you're new at and not good at. Just like every other game I play, my videos are never tutorials. I stumble and struggle through as a new user and a middle-aged man who I've played games all my life. Just, I can't say this is something that I am naturally awesome at. I'm just average player trying to share some average frustrations and successes with others who enjoy the games that I play. And that's the whole point of YouTube. Share what you enjoy with others. So thanks for joining me. I'll catch you next time as we move into the park. Can't wait. For now, though, Mr. Johns is